let's get into just the whole terminology of Maravilla or Maravilloso, and what that means to you and others.
So Maravilla, to be a Maravilla gang member, I guess is you're a Maravilla gang member. You know, you're associated with the homeboys, but to be considered a Maravilloso, you know, in an old term, which you know my grandpa would speak on, would be a person that was actually born and raised here. You know your history of your barrio, and you could actually be vouched for by homeboys that can speak on you or speak good on you. That, you know, this dude was with a business, he actually held it down, and when shit hit the fan, he was down to ride. That would be considered a Maravilloso.
Okay. Is there a protocol? Let's just say there's some youngsters right now and they're pretty deep. They're like 10, 20 deep and they want to do a new Maravilla. Can they just do it, or does it have to go through a chain of command before it can be established?
Oh, there definitely have to be a meeting about that. Yeah, there wouldn't be able to be, you know, whether there were a tagging crew that wanted to join up with Maravilla, there would have to be a big discussion in who these people are, because we don't just accept anybody.
And now in terms of the cliques, there's so many different Maravillas. I believe I've counted over 20.
Yeah, all these cliques were pretty much established already in the 90s already. With the last ones coming on board would be Pomeroy, Frazier, you know, those cliques. There's been youngsters trying to make new cliques. There was a couple of other barrios that wanted to click up that I actually got the green light, but we weren't having it. Some of the other barrios, which I won't speak on that, try to actually go into our Maravilla module because they had the green light, and they weren't from our neighborhood, so they weren't accepted.
When you get to middle school, are you still in Catholic school, or do you go to one of the other schools around here?
I was in both. I was in Catholic school, and then I went to Griffith for a little bit. It was crazy too. It was around the green light period. There was actually drills for drive-bys. And you had to practice not only the earthquake drill, but you had to practice getting under your desk in case the shots rang out, which sometimes they did.
All right, talk about that. What school were you going to where they were doing drive-by drills?
At Soledad.
Okay.
And at Griffith. And we also had to do that at the park right here for those that, a lot of homies that got into playing basketball or baseball or football at the park right here. We had to do drills, and actually most of the time it wasn't even a drill. There was actual gunshots where we had to get down because it was popping.
So this was a really
a war zone.
Yeah, especially those what were we talking about, the 90s, the mid-90s?
The early 90s.
The early 90s?
Early 90s, mid-90s.
What high school did you go to, and let's take me to that period of time.
I went to Garfield High School. I went there for I almost made it a year, probably about 8 months. From then, I went to High School. I went to school out there in Van Nuys. Actually, they sent me away because they wouldn't allow me, being from my neighborhood, to go to any other school like Wilson or Roosevelt, schools like that had rival neighborhoods.
And why didn't you last at Garfield?
We had a big riot back then. We had a big old fight.
Now Garfield is mostly Maravillas go there.
Yep.
Oh, any particular, which Maravillas mostly go there?
Well, back then when I was in school, everybody went there. Lopez went there, Mariana, of course, Ford Maravilla, Frazier Maravilla. All the Maravillas would go to Garfield because it was considered a Maravilla school.
And was this a place where you actually met more Maravillas and became friends with more of them?
Yeah, we met a lot of homies. It was if you seen a homeboy that was dressed like, you know, cholo or whatever, or he looked suspect, you know, you went and go bang on him. And if he didn't say his neighborhood, you had him lift up his shirt and make sure he didn't have no tattoos.
And this is, you're in high school during the green light era.
Right.
Okay, are there other barrios other than Maravillas trying to go to?
Oh, there will be other neighborhoods that came in.
Yeah, and what was that like?
That was on site with them, whether they were in the dean's office, if they were in a classroom, you're gonna go in that classroom and get them out of there, like real. It was with the business back then.
So it's fair to say that those young high school students that were not from Maravilla were acting on the green light.
Yep.
On site.
Yep.
Okay, so that must have been a pretty active high school then.
No, it was active at a lot of high schools. Even when I went out to other high schools, like Sure High School, it was on and cracking with myself and me having to be, you know, alone or maybe one homeboy with me, mostly alone. And it was all them barrios are gunning for me. Where I really got to see, you know, how the struggle was gonna be was when I went up to Birmingham High School in Van Nuys. And I had all these barrios come at me, and they actually rushed the classroom, and it was on.
Now, when you was at Birmingham, there wasn't a bunch of Maravillas.
There was no Maravilla out there. It was Barrio Van Nuys. Alley Boys went there. Reseda went there. All the barrios in the valley out there. San Fernando went out there.
So you must not have lasted long there at Birmingham.
I actually lasted for like a good 3 months, and I was surprised at that.
Well, 3 months ain't long.
Well, it was a long time back then because I thought I was gonna maybe last a week there, but
wow.
Yeah, 3 months was a pretty good long time.
Now, considering the politics that was going on, why would the administration even want to put you in, you know, a Shark Tank, basically?
So out there, they really didn't know. You know, out there when we went to the outskirts, other than being out here on the east side, a lot of other, you know, counties didn't know about the politics stuff and stuff like that. So me going to a school or anybody that was from the barrio that went out to, you know, the outskirts, that was a high school that was out other than East LA or around the surrounding areas, Montebello, Whittier, Pico, didn't really have an idea what was going on. And the administration wouldn't ask you, hey, are you from a gang? Are you gang affiliated? Or do you have any tattoos? It was just like, you know, you're welcomed in, and if you didn't, it was discrimination.
Did you consider going to Birmingham and just trying to stay low key and not make yourself known and try to get through it, or was that not even a possibility?
That was not a possibility. I was from you know, a lot of homies. You see a lot of homies out here, and one thing we grow up with is our pride, you know. And anywhere I went, you walked around with pride and you represented. And it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of messed up to say, but our mindset back then, it was kind of like we looked down on other places or other barrios, if you would say, and be like, man, this ain't no barrio out here. We live in a barrio. I'll bring you to a neighborhood.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. Thanks for watching StreetTV.net.